Okay, so ready to jump into another deep dive.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome, awesome. Today we're looking at a couple things that might seem, I don't know, like totally different at first,
Right.
but, we like to dig around and see what we can find.
Right, right.
So we've got, let's see, we've got this situation with the school district that might have to close a school, tough situation.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to take a look at some local news from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie, PA.
Erie, PA, exactly. Now, stick with us here. It might not seem obvious right away, but I think by looking at these two things, we can kind of get a sense of what's important to communities.
I think I get where you're going with this. I mean, like, what their priorities are.
Yeah, exactly. What their priorities are and, what kinds of problems they're facing, the stuff that maybe doesn't always make the national headlines.
Totally. Like a ground level view.
Yes, exactly. So let's start with this school district. They're dealing with what they call declining enrollment. I guess that means fewer kids are going to their schools.
Yeah. It's something a lot of districts are dealing with these days.
Yeah, and it's gotten so bad that they're actually thinking about closing one of their schools.
Wow. Which one?
It's called Edgewood Early Childhood Center. And, the superintendent of the district, he was saying that they have something like 16 to 18 empty classrooms.
16 to 18. That's a lot of empty space.
Yeah, empty desks, empty,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really makes you think, I mean, what happens when a school closes? Like, what does that do to a community?
Well, it's definitely a big deal. You're not just talking about the kids and the teachers who are at that school. It can really affect everyone in the community.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, think about it. Like, property values might go down if there's no school nearby.
Right, right.
And a school can be like a central point for the community, a place where people gather for events or meetings or whatever. So when it closes, that's a loss too.
Yeah, like a community hub.
Exactly. And for families, if there's no school in their neighborhood, they got to figure out what to do with their little kids.
Like transportation, childcare, all that.
Exactly. It all adds up.
It's a tough situation. And, I guess they must be thinking that closing the school will save them some money.
Probably, yeah. I mean, you don't have to pay for as many teachers, staff, or heat and electricity for that building if it's closed.
Yeah, true, true. But then there's all that other stuff we were just talking about. The impact on the community seems like a really hard decision to make.
Oh, absolutely. The school board, they have to balance the budget, but also think about the people in the community.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even measure the good things a school brings to a community?
Right, right. How do you put a dollar amount on that?
Exactly. But at least this superintendent, he seems to be trying to get everyone involved in the decision.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, he's holding meetings and stuff to get people's opinions before they decide anything.
That's how it should be.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it does make you think, are there other things communities can do when they face these tough decisions?
Yeah.
To keep their schools open and running.
Well, yeah, people are trying different things.
Like what?
Sometimes schools share space with other organizations, or they come up with special programs to attract more students.
Interesting. So thinking outside the box.
Exactly. They have to get creative, and who knows what solutions they'll come up with. That's where local news can really play a role, too. Shining a light on what's happening and keeping everyone informed.
Which is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
Because speaking of local news, we wanted to take a look at how things are done in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right. Erie.
Exactly. And we're not talking about their famous snowstorms, though I hear they get a lot. We're looking at their local news website. Erie News Now, I think it is.
Yeah. Erie News Now, it's a pretty typical local news site.
It seems like they've got everything. News, weather, sports, even like a section on local events.
Pretty much, they even have stuff like hometown holiday lights and something called The Last Word.
The Last Word, what's that?
It's like people in the community sharing their opinions and thoughts on things.
Oh, cool. And I saw a section called Finding Forever Families. I guess that's for helping pets find homes.
Seems like it. They are big on local stuff for sure.
Yeah, it really gives you that small town vibe. But I'm also curious, do they cover the bigger news too?
Oh, yeah, they do. They have sections on national news, politics, business, all of that.
So it's like a mix of everything.
Exactly. Local happenings mixed in with the bigger picture. And they're the ones who'd be covering things like the school closure situation too, if it was happening in their town.
Yeah, they'd be the ones telling everyone what's going on.
Yep. And giving people a chance to voice their opinions, maybe even holding those in power accountable.
Right. It makes you realize how important local news really is.
For sure. They're like the eyes and ears of the community, They keep everyone connected.
Totally. They're a lifeline. So I guess what we've seen today is that whether it's a school district trying to figure out what to do or a local news website keeping people informed, It's all about community.
It really is. And it's fascinating how these local issues, like that school potentially closing, can connect to bigger things happening all over the country.
It's like a microcosm.
Yeah.
You see the same trends playing out everywhere.
Yeah.
It makes you think, what can we do? How can we stay involved and informed?
That's the question, isn't it? How can we support our own communities and make sure the things that matter most are getting the attention they deserve?
Deep stuff.
Deep dive.
Exactly.